BitCraft is an up-and-coming open-world cozy survival crafting economy-based MMORPG for PC from Clockwork Labs, where thousands of players will coexist on one massive procedurally generated world. No shards, no various servers, just togetherness. You'll be able to live out your Master Roshi fantasy completely alone with nothing but the voices in your head serving as company, or a small cozy village with some friends. If you have any, that is. Or even in a sprawling metropolis where you'll be able to trade, work together, and even rent a spot to live within a growing empire. But something about BitCraft that most MMOs today don't really foster anymore is the need to work together in the open world to truly flourish in-game. So you and your friends will travel in this world and rebuild a society to shape the world and discover the past through exploring. I was given access to the first BitCraft closed alpha test with a few friends, and I'm walking away with some thoughts. But keep in mind, these thoughts are on a game that's fully in the early stages of development, so everything mentioned here is subject to change and is literally just the framework of the game. However, as they stated via their website, the closed Alpha 1 is a representation of their planned core game loop, so we can get a fairly solid idea on what kind of game this will be. First things first, the game had to address the rumors swirling around it because of its name, BitCraft. This led to some confusion as to whether or not they would be immersing themselves in the world of Bitcoin. Thankfully, they clearly addressed this, but will most likely continue to have to address this because the name is, for better or worse, still going to make people think cryptocurrency, and the Twitter bots think so too. That aside, let's dive into the game itself, beginning with the tutorial that teaches you the point-and-click movement with the WASD camera movements and a tap of the spacebar to toggle running. There's also stamina that can be replenished by resting or eating food. Movement took me a while to become comfortable with, but once you've been at it for a while, it gets better. You'll also be auto-following when hunting, as you'll automatically move towards your target as you're hitting 1 through 3 to shoot arrows. Beyond learning movement, when spawning into the game, you'll be faced with a minor character creator, which will be expanded upon more in time, with a few choices not unlike Sky Children of Light. As you explore, you'll discover various face types that you'll be able to trade NPCs for, and you'll even be capable of dressing your explorer in different outfits based on your profession. At level 20, for every specialty, you'll be given an outfit based on the profession. So you could have a fisherman's outfit, tailor's outfit, and so on and so forth. Speaking of professions, there are a total of 13 of them with 21 different types of workstations that you'll be able to interact with as you're leveling. In terms of workstation, there is the tailoring station, the masonry station, oven, kiln, workbench, smelter, grinder, smithing station, loom, carpentry station, drying frame, farming station, cooking station, scholar station, tanning tub, well, forestry station, farming plots, fishing station, leatherworking station, and a shop to trade items with others. The stations tie into different professions, which is progressed with a particular station or action. As an example, you can become a forager, which is strictly going out into the world and gathering plants that allow you to go back to the tailoring station, make rope, or farm a plot to plant, and so much more. All of these things can be overwhelming to do for one particular person, especially since the purpose is to level up to higher tier mats for most of these, and that takes time. When I first created my base, I looked around and felt distressed by the amount of things I needed to do and remember, because each station does something different and it took me a while to remember what did what. Each station also seems to require other stations to craft particular items. This game encourages you to specialize to minimize that stress. So most larger cities are going to be looking for people with specialties to break up the amount of time and effort by working together. Kind of like when mages used to sell teleports in Stormwind. Everyone serves a purpose and has their own distinct uses. They also stated that there will hopefully be guilds, like a farming guild, that'll form together in a large city and work together. This game is meant to be a fully cooperative experience. Imagine an MMO that requires you to work with other people. Clearly, they aren't very well versed with the modern MMO player that would rather tackle the game completely solo than proceed to go onto a social media and claim the game is dead because nobody is working together. Granted, this is achievable, but it's going to take some extreme dedication, my fellow introverts. Perhaps this will encourage people to bond and create new friendships. Or not. As I began wandering around the game, I found various player cities already starting to develop. Of course, I just invited myself into some of them to take a peek by joining them, which allotted me access to all of their items. This was surprising since there are no blockades whatsoever. But thank goodness I'm not a troll and simply carried on investigating, and I didn't take their stuff. There does seem to be a way to turn this off, as some plots I couldn't join. I found the villages with homes that you can access and build inside of, people using the terraforming dig site that allows you to change the terrain anywhere on a y-axis. Like I said, the world is quite literally shaped by us, the players, and that is pretty cool. Folks were using carts to carry around large items and boats to charter friends to fishing sites. And honestly, each and every single person I came across in the playtest were nothing but kind, helpful, and probably will assist in the core of this game having that great, cozy companionship factor. I even saw one of the game directors in global chat just seeing how players were doing. Besides other players, you'll come across NPCs that at this point are mainly for trading. Supposedly, there will be NPCs that will come into your claim based on your relationship with them, so something reminiscent of Animal Crossing in that regard, perhaps? I'm not sure. Still hasn't happened. I'm waiting for it. Sounds cool. Your claims are your home, and they take a great effort to maintain. You'll have a glowing area to which you can build inside of your claim, or you can begin to build beyond the guided lines to expand your claim, but that comes at a cost. Your claim is only good for so many hours based upon the amount of supplies you put in. The bigger the claim, the more supplies required. There were many times that I thought I'd left supplies in my claim to sustain me until next time I logged in, but sadly I was stuck in the queue more often than not or got busy doing something else, so my claim would be opened to the public. And very quickly folks would come in and take my items and dissolve them for their use. So rude. After the third time of this happening, I decided that I wasn't going to invest any more time and began exploring because I love exploring. But before we get into the exploration portion of this, let's discuss the life within the claim or a claim you join. As I mentioned, there are professions you'll be working towards leveling or your more focused desired profession. So you'll begin collecting materials around you such as trees, grass, and rocks. Like most survival games, there is a limited bag space and weight does apply, but not in the way you think. So your backpack has limited space and it gets used up very quickly. As for instance, when you cut down a tree or cut down a stump, various logs will take up only one slot and not stack. So it's imperative that you work at having lots of storage as very few items seem to stack. You'll also pick up larger logs, animal carcasses, or rocks that'll sit on your character's back that will prevent them from running, setting you at a slow walk until you drop it off your back or put it to use for crafting. Most activities also take a bit of time, especially solo. There were quite a few times I'd just go AFK and go downstairs and get myself something to eat, browse Twitter, or talk on our Discord and come back right as I had finished whatever mining, crafting, or really any activity I had set myself to do. While some of these tasks are indeed meant to be done alone, together is better, as I mentioned at the very start. Just look at the difference working with others makes on time. Who knew friendship was so beneficial? When exploring the world, there's quite a few beautiful biomes with distinct gatherable materials. Sadly, I only managed to come across 3 of them, and that's after hours of exploring. Some areas had little hills you need to climb, which admittedly took me a while to figure out how to get down, but the community saved me and told me how to get down. So thank you so much, World Chat. I appreciate you. Some areas had large open fields and others thick forests. This map is going to be absolutely enormous. The only methods of transportation at present are via boat or on foot, no teleporting except for back to your bed on a 9-minute cooldown. This will make it hard to move your claim around in my eyes, since if you recall, items take up bag space quickly, so to move a bunch of items really seems nearly impossible at this point. After hours of moving around, I had only managed to explore 1% of the entire world, and I'm excited to see what else there is out there because I've only seen just the tip of it. To show you how massive it is, I came into this game with a few friends, and one friend in particular was 20 minutes away on this large, what felt like never-ending procedurally generated map, and I set out to get them, and this is how it went. But you know, keep in mind, much like a New World, it seems as though we spawn in different areas. Therefore, you might be required to make the same journey to get to your friends. I feel like this is a great visual representation of what 20 minutes worth of exploring looks like from someone that gets easily distracted. Keep in mind, the game is not going to be for everyone, and that is perfectly fine. Also, when exploring, I found different types of runes. Most of these runes are full of treasure chests with various goodies you'll need, and to obtain them, you need to decipher the puzzle that the rune is presenting to you. Doing the runes is also important as a scholar profession, as you'll need to decipher old runes to discover the past. Of course, this wouldn't be an MMO without fishing, so naturally there's large water masses to fish around. Unfortunately, at this juncture, and something I hope they fix in the future, is the fact you need to unlock the boat to fish for the first tier of available freshwater life crawdads. It's not the fact you need to unlock the boat, it's the fact that it took me hours to find one puddle of tier 1 crawdads. I have PTSD thanks to this. Oh my god. This, in my eyes, makes this the hardest profession to level at this point. You also need these crawdads for many crafting stations and crafting recipes, so it's imperative you begin this journey ASAP, as it's going to be one you can't avoid. I don't know if anyone from BitCraft will watch this, but please, I love fishing, but I don't love having to travel all over Pixel's green earth to find what I can fish. It just made me want to cry into my fishing bucket. Other than that, the game is peaceful and beautiful for its art style, albeit tedious at times. I'm excited to see where this game goes, as there's so much time for additional exciting things to happen, but I do see a good foundation within this game. Some of you may not find this to be your cup of tea, but it'll appeal to many others, and that's why I'm here to put this on your radar. I'd love to see this game develop some more and look forward to more test phases, because my cup of tea may just be brewing right now with BitCraft. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. This was MRSSSTIX, logging off for now.